Welcome to the SAP 49er and 49er FX Europeans 2013 in the well-known venue of Aarhus in Denmark. A perfect location with great weather and breeze expected for the championships. Sailing Aarhus is a partnership of 5 sailing clubs whose aim is to promote sailing and organize major events. The SAP 49er and 49er FX Europeans 2013 is the first time that the teams who are campaigning for Rio 2016 are all together, so expect a real battle to unfold as teams jostle to make their mark at the first championship of the quadrennial. Amongst the 37 teams in the women's 49er FX are all of the world's top 10. Over in the men's 49er fleet there are 91 teams, with all top sailors being here. The racing format for the men will see 2 days of qualification and 4 days of fleet races, including the medal-deciding final races. 2 race courses are hosting the action at the SAP 49er and 49er FX Europeans 2013. Today, the 49er blue and yellow fleets are up on the track first this morning, with the racetracks handed over to the 49er red fleet and women's 49er FX fleet for this afternoon's races. However, early in the morning, the weather did not seem to be on the side of the racers, and it was too light to get any racing underway, with heavy rain adding to the mix. The sun soon appeared in full glory, but still no wind. Let's see some action for the blue fleet at their first race of the day. Top sailors and Olympians are gathered here, such as Croatia's world number 7 team of Kostov and Kupac and Austria's Delacarth and Retz. Great Britain's Fletcher and Sine were suffering from a poor performance in this first race, a similar shocker for the 2012 Olympic bronze medal helm Norregard. A general recall for the first attempt to start race 2 of the blue fleet before the race got underway with not much change in the conditions, still light and shifty. Dottoli and Delpes and Norregard and Thompson started up at the race committee end of the start line. The first upwind was shifty and hard to read, but taking the lead at the first windward was Germany's Kramer brothers, who led the fleet downwind, with the French and Danish teams again outside of the top 5. Downwind and the fleet was spread all over the racecourse trying to sail the shifts. Dottoli opted for the right side of the track downwind, not a wise move as they lost valuable places. The Kramers continued to lead but were overtaken by Canada's Maury and Barnes ahead of the finish and had to settle for second place. The Danish and French teams finished 5th and 9th, but it is only day 1 and plenty of races ahead to balance things out. Back to the yellow 49er fleet, and a wind shift at the start of the first race gave a massive advantage to Spain's Paz brothers, with France's Frey and Rochaillet on their tail. The 2012 Olympic silver medalists Berling and Tuch suffered from a really poor start, but relief for them as the race committee was forced to abandon the race as the weather turned the track on its head. Over in the 49er FX fleet are some teams who have already established themselves as teams to watch, including Germany's Meyer and Halbrode. Holland's Beckering and Blom finished 4th at the recent Delta Lloyd Regatta and have their eyes on a podium position here in Denmark. Competing in the 49er FX fleet are also 4 of the Seiko teams, including Brazil's Senft and Nicolino. Too many teams over the line for the first start of the day forced a general recall, with Denmark's Hansen and Iversen taking the advantage off the line to move them into the lead upwind, with Great Britain's McGregor and Rook up close to them. Just behind and also heading off to the left of the track were Australia's Parkinson and Hull, along with Beckering and Blom, as they headed to where it seemed there was more pressure. Rounding the windward mark first were Denmark's Nielsen and Olsen, with teammates Hansen and Iversen just behind, then the Australians. As the fleet headed downwind, the wind started to increase and racing got a bit more fun and exciting as the 49er FX fleet showcased Skiff sailing in some spectacular downwind racing. Let's have an overview of the day and of what's to come.
Tricky day today, a lot of shifts, and the wind was up and down. I think it was really hard for the race officers to set a good course, but we didn't have it quite as hard as some of the other fleets who've gone out and then come back in and gone back out again. So yeah, we got 2 days of qualifying scheduled unless we don't get all the races in. So it's just important to be in the top 32 for moving forwards into the Gold Fleet and semi-final, I think they're calling it here. So that's the aim, just to plug in some good ones, make sure we get in there in these tricky conditions, and then it sort of gets a bit more important later in the week.
Stay tuned for some more action tomorrow with a forecast of 15 knots breeze. Thanks for watching.